grateful for the grace of heaven and the virtue of the masters, and thankful for the compassion from above, I have this opportunity to share and report with all of you. Today's class is a joyful life of cultivation. Dear fellow cultivators, as we walk the path of cultivation, when you apply the Tao in your daily life, do you feel truly happy? Are you joyful or not? This is very important. When we integrate the Tao into our lives, into our roles as farmers, workers, merchants, or scholars, we should naturally feel very happy and at ease. Why is that? I will share some compassionate teachings from the immortals and Buddhas with everyone, so we can explore together how to make your life of cultivation joyful, how to live joyfully in your everyday responsibilities, whether in society or at work, and still feel fulfilled and happy. Let us return to the text and reflect further. First of all, make joy and kind thoughts a habit of life, so becoming an immortal or Buddha becomes natural. Dear fellow cultivators, as I just mentioned, when we unite our social responsibilities, our work, and our roles in society with cultivation, we will feel very joyful. The immortals and Buddhas compassionately remind us that we must make joy and kind thoughts into life habits. This means at all times and places, you can express a cheerful heart and allow kind thoughts to manifest in every intention, turning them into daily practice. When you hold this mindset, the immortals and Buddhas tell us, you will naturally become an immortal or Buddha. It will come as a matter of course. Because this is how they live, joy and kindness flow naturally through their daily lives. This is the most wonderful way, transforming joy and cultivation into everyday living. Let us continue exploring the text. The second. Serve all beings with joy and kind thoughts. This builds good affinities and is also a wonderful way to dissolve suffering. Dear fellow cultivators, let us serve others with joy and kind thoughts. Think about it. What attitude do you hold when serving your customers? When you face others, do you meet them with a joyful heart and kind intentions? If you do, your customers will feel very comfortable, and your work performance will surely flourish. When we serve others with joy and kindness, the immortals and Buddhas tell us that we can both form wide networks of good affinities and also dissolve karmic suffering. Remember, it takes all kinds of people to make up the world. When you face favorable conditions, everything feels smooth and effortless. But when adversity comes, the immortals and Buddhas remind us that adversity is an excellent opportunity to dissolve karmic suffering. So never forget, serving others with joy and kindness both creates good affinities and helps dissolve karmic burdens. That is the beauty of a joyful life of cultivation. Let us continue exploring the text. The third. Use joy and kind thoughts to overcome the habit of anger. It saves life energy and transforms destiny. Dear fellow cultivators, do you like to get angry? When you indulge in anger, the immortals and Buddhas tell us, you are wasting the vital energy of your life. Whenever you get angry, countless cells in your body are harmed, gradually weakening your health. So what should we do? The immortals and Buddhas instruct us to counter anger with joy and kind thoughts. This way, you not only conserve your life energy, but also find the best way to transform your destiny. How do we change our destiny? If you feel your destiny is unfavorable, take a look. Do you often get angry? If anger is your habit, your destiny naturally will not be good. You may think, that's not true, I'm doing fine now even though I often get angry. But be careful, while you may not feel the effects now, the bitter consequences may manifest in the future. Thus, the immortals and Buddhas compassionately advise us to transform destiny. The fastest way is simply to stop loving anger. It is even faster than changing your home, your feng shui, your location, or even your name. Using joy and kind thoughts to overcome anger is the most effective way. Let us return to the text and continue our reflection. The fourth. Use joy and kind thoughts to interpret the people and things around you. This expands the wealth of life and is the secret treasure for entering heaven, dear fellow cultivators. Sometimes when we face the people and circumstances around us, how much effort can we really use to change them? When you cannot change them, what should you do? The immortals and Buddhas compassionately tell us, if the mountain does not turn, the road turns. If the road does not turn, people turn. If people do not turn, the heart turns. When the heart turns, the circumstances turn. So, when we cannot change the many people and things around us, the immortals and Buddhas advise us, use joy and kind thoughts to interpret what surrounds you. Doing so can expand the wealth of your life and also serve as a secret treasure to enter heaven. Simply put, the immortals once told us, how others treat me is my karma, how I treat others is my cultivation. Let me repeat, how others treat me is my karma, how I treat others is my cultivation. Sometimes you may feel puzzled, I don't even know this person. Why does he treat me like an enemy? It feels strange, and you feel uncomfortable with him, and he feels uncomfortable with you. When facing such people, how do we explain it? The immortals and Buddhas compassionately tell us, don't worry. If someone treats me badly, that is my karma. Perhaps in a past life I offended him, and now he comes to seek repayment. That's fine, I accept it as karma. But then comes the question, he treats me badly, so how should I treat him? The answer is, I must treat him kindly. Why? Because his unkindness is my karma, but my kindness is my cultivation. I am a cultivator, I am practicing the Tao. Naturally, even when facing such people, I must still respond with kindness and a pleasant demeanor. In this way, unseen and unnoticed, many negative affinities can be transformed into positive ones. So, dear fellow cultivators, what is the secret treasure for entering heaven? The immortals and Buddhas tell us, use joy and kind thoughts to interpret the people and things around you. Sometimes what we face in life is not always smooth, it may be frustrating, even heartbreaking. But what can we do? We must still cross this threshold. It is often said, every household has its own difficult scripture to recite. Everyone has their own lessons to learn. This is your lesson. What mindset should you take to face it? The immortals and Buddhas tell us, use joy and kind thoughts to interpret your surroundings. Then, naturally, your wealth of life will expand. Because when your mindset changes, the people and circumstances around you also begin to change. This, in itself, is the secret treasure for entering heaven. That is why the immortals and Buddhas compassionately remind us, only by doing so can you move freely and joyfully in this complex society. Let us now return to the text and continue exploring. Next, we reflect upon the words spoken by the sixth patriarch Huinin after his enlightenment, to further understand how to live a joyful life of cultivation. The fifth. The compassionate teaching of the sixth patriarch Huinin. When the mind is at peace, what need is there to cling to precepts? When conduct is upright, what use is there to practice meditation? Dear fellow cultivators, after the sixth patriarch Huinin attained enlightenment, he left behind these profound words of guidance. We see some people striving for enlightenment through endless meditation, sitting in silence, or clinging to many precepts. Yet, in the end, Huinin tells us, if your mind is at peace, if you can treat all people and matters equally, why cling so heavily to precepts? And when it comes to one's conduct, if everything you do is upright and proper, why insist on formal meditation practice? He gave an example. Jiangxia once fished at the Wai River with his hook straightened, hanging 3 inches above the water. He said, those willing may bite, those unwilling may turn away. This represents true upright conduct. Every step we take, grounded and genuine, is itself meditation, even without sitting in formal practice. Therefore, the sixth patriarch Huinin teaches us, when the mind is at peace, what need is there to cling to precepts? When conduct is upright, what use is there to practice meditation? The sixth. Gratitude is to care for and support one's parents. Righteousness is to show compassion between higher and lower. Dear fellow cultivators, among all virtues, filial piety comes first. The greatest grace in this world is to be filial to one's parents. As the saying goes, the tree longs for stillness, but the wind will not cease. The child wishes to care for the parents, but they will not wait. Therefore, while our parents are still alive, we must be filial. Filial piety may seem simple, providing food and shelter, but true obedience, following their hearts, is much harder. As our parents grow old, their behavior may regress to that of a child. How should we respond with patience and understanding? This is a test we must dedicate ourselves to. Thus, The sixth patriarch Huinin reminds us, gratitude is to care for one's parents, righteousness is to show compassion between higher and lower. Dear fellow cultivators, gratitude allows us to accomplish, righteousness stirs compassion between people at all levels, enabling us to care for all beings. Therefore, gratitude is to support our parents, and righteousness is to connect compassion between all. Let us now return to the text and continue our reflection. The seventh. Those who yield bring harmony between high and low. Those who endure silence the noise of evil. Dear fellow cultivators, perhaps the words of the sixth patriarch Huinin may seem profound and difficult to grasp. But when we integrate cultivation into our daily life, we move with ease, and even hardships taste sweet. In today's complex society, there is little distinction between high and low, everyone seems equal, and hierarchy is blurred. Yet Huinin teaches us, when we know how to yield, we can live harmoniously with colleagues and peers. With a heart of yielding, we prevent conflicts in a complicated world. How many conflicts arise simply because no one is willing to yield? Therefore, the sixth patriarch compassionately reminds us, those who yield bring harmony between high and low. When everyone lives harmoniously, is this not the essence of a joyful life of cultivation? Huinin continues, those who endure silence the noise of evil. In a complex, diverse society, if everyone pushes forward, conflicts will arise. At such times, Huinin advises us to choose yielding and endurance. Although yielding may appear like retreat, in truth, retreat is often a way forward. As the saying goes, leave a step in human relations, and it will be easy to meet again. Dear fellow cultivators, when we apply the wisdom of the Tao and the teachings of the immortals and Buddhas to daily life, everything becomes natural and heartfelt. Thus, those who yield bring harmony, and those who endure silence evil. Conflicts lessen naturally. Let us now return to the text and continue exploring. The eighth. If one can strike fire from wood, then surely from mud a red lotus will bloom. Dear fellow cultivators, the sixth patriarch Huinin used this affirmation, striking fire from wood. In ancient times, by rubbing wood together, sparks of fire could indeed be made. In the same way, our complex society is like muddy water, and yet within it the red lotus blooms. Why is it that cultivators of the White Yang era achieve even more than those of the Green or Red Yang eras? Because we are the red lotus, born in adversity, strengthened by cultivation. In this turbulent society, we face endless disturbances daily. Yet if we can keep our hearts calm and practice steadfastly, we will accomplish much. Remember, every disturbance is an opportunity for growth. Every trouble is trouble transformed into body. Thus, each day's encounters become the stepping stones of our achievement. Huinin, after enlightenment, told us, the joyful life of cultivation is like striking fire from wood, and like a red lotus blossoming in adversity. Congratulations, we are on the right path, and with perseverance, we can accomplish enlightenment in this very lifetime. Let us return to the text and continue our reflection. The ninth. Correcting faults gives rise to wisdom. Defending faults reveals an unworthy heart. Dear fellow cultivators, in society today, people are quick to point fingers at others' faults. But the immortals and Buddhas, and Huanin himself, teach us, when we have faults, we must correct them. Only by correcting faults can wisdom arise, for heaven bestows compassion upon those who repent. When there is fault, there must be correction. Through correction comes wisdom. If we try to cover up or defend our faults, what society calls shielding each other, this only breeds selfishness. That is not the way of a cultivator. We must be very clear, when we are wrong, we must change. Thus Huanin compassionately tells us, correcting faults gives rise to wisdom. If we defend our faults, our hearts become restless. But when we sincerely admit error, repent deeply, and change, then we truly live the joyful life of cultivation. At first, this may feel uncomfortable, hard to accept or endure. But, dear fellow cultivators, try it. Remember the words of the sage Zengzi, each day I examine myself on 3 counts. Have I been faithful in serving others? Have I been trustworthy with friends? Have I practiced what has been taught? All sages and Buddhas were willing to face their faults. Some even rejoiced when others pointed out their mistakes. Why? Because only then could they correct themselves and never repeat the error, naturally leading to accomplishment. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. The 10th. Benefit others in daily life. Attaining the Tao is not through giving money alone, dear fellow cultivators. When we apply the Tao to daily life, to our work, to our social responsibilities, to our families, we find it flows more smoothly each day. In family life, it brings harmony. In society and the workplace, it brings cooperation and peace. Why? Because we live by the compassionate wisdom of the immortals and Buddhas. This is truly wonderful. Thus, we must constantly practice benefiting others in our daily lives. In this White Yang era, we practice the 3 givings, material giving, Dharma giving, and fearlessness giving. Huanin reminds us, giving is not limited to material form. We can give Dharma by offering kind words at any time. We can give fearlessness by helping, guiding, and supporting others whenever possible. Naturally, when we live out the 3 givings in everyday life, we both fulfill the Tao in heaven and leave a legacy among humanity. Therefore, Huanin teaches us, benefit others in daily life. Attaining the Tao is not through giving money alone. Let us now return to the text and continue our reflection. The 11th. Seek body within the heart, while labor to search for mysteries outside. Dear fellow cultivators, body is to be sought within the heart. There is nothing to be gained from searching outwardly. The Buddha is within your own heart. Thus it is said, do not seek the Buddha on Mount Ling far away. Mount Ling is only within your mind. Everyone has a spiritual Mount Ling within, and it is under this inner sacred tower that true cultivation takes place. Therefore, seek body within the heart. Remember, turning back is the shore. There is no need to search outwardly for sages or wisdom. Those who do not understand often believe they must search ceaselessly outside, but in the end, they never truly find what they seek. So, fellow cultivators, always remember, where is the Tao? Even the sages revealed this in the way the character Tao is written. It begins with Shu, head, beside a radical of walking. It shows us that the Tao is the most essential path. The path upon your own head. In Minnan, Hokkien, dialect there is a saying, to find a head road. In Chinese this means to seek the path above your head. Fellow cultivators, if you have already received the Tao and awakened your wisdom, you will clearly understand the teaching, turning back is the shore. Thus, body is to be sought within. From your own heart you must search. There is no need to chase after mysteries outside. Let us now return to the text and continue our exploration. The 12th. Follow this practice, and heaven is right before your eyes, dear fellow cultivators. How can we bring cultivation into daily life? The 6th patriarch Huinin tells us, in the verses he once spoke at the moment of enlightenment, body is not a tree, the bright mirror is no stand, originally there is not a single thing, where can dust alight. These words reveal the essence. Cultivation in the White Yang era becomes joyful when we never part from our true heart. If we follow this way, heaven is right before our eyes. Fellow cultivators, heaven is here and now. We have already received the 3 treasures. Where is the Tao? The Tao is not outside, it is within our own hearts. This is why we say, everywhere is the Tao. Why do we call it so? Because turning back is the shore. Every phrase reminds us of the importance of the inner heart. When we truly grasp the heart's importance, we bring our understanding of the Tao into daily life. Then, when facing problems, difficulties, or setbacks, we naturally find resolution. In this way, the life of cultivation is joyful. You can apply it at work, in your social duties, and in all affairs. Everything becomes smooth and in harmony. Especially in today's complex and diverse society, it is most important to calm the heart. Remember, the sea of suffering has no end. Turn back, and you reach the shore. If you keep searching outwardly, you will never see the shore. Without sight of the shore, fear arises, for the heart feels empty and lost. But heaven and the Buddhas, in their compassion, remind us, Turn back, and you reach the shore. When you turn back, you realize that every step you take never leaves the heart. Returning home, you recall the path from which you first set out. Thus, by applying the Tao in daily life, you live the joyful life of cultivation. May you be blessed.